So, hi everyone. I'm here tonight with Andrea Hayley-Shankuran, who is an Ayurvedic nutrition and digestive health counselor. And she supports and empowers women to take control of their health through nutrition, various protocols and strategies, and has been doing this for a very long time, over 25 years, I think you said, and has helped hundreds of women to make differences in their life, in their health, and in their life in general through her passion and her strategies. And I just love that your focus is on putting the power back in their hands, because that for me is something that is very close to my heart when I'm working with my own clients. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really happy to have you here today, just to share about the importance of nutrition. So firstly, I didn't even ask you, the Joyful Chef. This is your other name, also known as the Joyful Chef. Yes. I love that. Can you just give a little bit of background on where that comes from?
Yeah, a couple of things. So first of all, to correct, in a sense, the 25 years. So I have been doing this for 25 years for myself, and how I got into it was actually midway through my university degree. I took a semester off and went to Central America. You know, most people go to Europe. I went to Central America. I was traveling among the locals, experiencing what life was like there. And it was very, very different. And I, in my young mind, very, very sensitive, unaware, but very sensitive, I noticed two big things. And the first thing was the incredible presence, kindness, generosity, and just authenticity of the people. The people there, mm-hmm. and their presence, their humanity, just blew me away. It was so striking. And then secondly, the fact that I was vegetarian, which limited my diet even further, I say, but the locally grown and produced foods being all that was really available to us. So cut bread and fried bananas and eggs and tomato and fresh cheeses. And the fact that I didn't have access to processed foods, manufactured foods. And somehow I put those two together. I thought, oh, it was so simple, so close to the elements, perhaps close to nature, and just so different from how most of us live.
Yes.
And so I came back home with this bee in my bonnet going like, something's wrong with how I'm living. I got to figure this out. And one fine day I was perusing a bookstore and came across a book called A Life of Balance. And that was about Ayurveda. And Ayurveda is very much about connection to nature, connecting to self. And the idea that through the intake of food, through the process of nourishment, we're literally connecting to all that is. This idea that the food is a gift from the divine, it's given to us. We connect to the divine through our food, and now it kind of becomes spiritual. And for me, that simple process of cooking became my nourishment, truly mind, body, and soul. And it helped to heal the tremendous stress and anxiety that I was feeling as a confused young person, as a grappling with these new understandings of the world and what to do with them. And I just really resonated with it. And, my connection to food just feels so deep. Eventually I became a cook. I cooked in restaurants for 7 years. And just continued to cook on my own, putting time, into homing the craft, because it's my nourishment, it's my foundation, it's my everything.
Yeah. I love that, because many of my clients, I believe, have chronic fatigue and chronic illness because they're disconnected. They've disconnected from nature, from themselves, and very definitely within that, they've disconnected from how to nourish themselves. And like I mentioned to you, I'm always interested in nutrition, not just as nutrition, but nutrition as nourishment. And I'm wondering if you could say a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Ayurveda, right? Ayurveda is this 3,000 to 5,000 year old traditional set of knowledge. Ayurveda translates as the knowledge of life, or
Yeah.
the science of life sometimes, but I always make the point of saying it's a traditional science, an ancient science, very different. The framework, the foundation, everything is different. And so part of that foundation helps us to understand nourishment more deeply, in fact.
Yeah.
So the first thing is how we connect with our food. So it starts with the ingredients that we source, right?
Mm-hmm.
From a garden, or local is always best.
Yeah.
But, paying attention to the quality. When we're at a grocery store, you can identify that this one is more vital or full of life, this vegetable, than this one. And so selecting the foods that appeal to us, that are shining in vitality, and then cooking those, preparing them with mindfulness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cooking is amazing for practicing mindfulness. And by that, I mean being present.
Yes.
Most people struggle with this because they perceive cooking as a job or a task or a hindrance or even drudgery, right? I hate it. I'm tired of it. I have to do it every single day. But if you can shift that mindset, and it starts with just giving yourself the time and the space to prepare your food. And then you see that food preparation invites mindfulness and presence, because you don't want to cut yourself with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to burn yourself with the heat. And C, you are following steps, and you're thinking about, what is the next thing I need to do? What is the next thing I need to do? And how can I be efficient in how I'm doing things? And how can I combine these things? And how can I pay attention when something's sizzling, or some colors are mixing together, or there's an aroma? So your senses are invited. So if you can really give yourself a little time and space to be there. And, that's what my students just really get into. And that starts to change everything about the experience. And it actually becomes motivating, like a self-fulfilling, virtuous kind of cycle, where I enjoy cooking. The food I eat now has been changed energetically through that experience of cooking. It's nourishing not just my body, not just the physical part of me, but it's helping to balance my emotions. It's helping clear my mind, and it's giving me energy on all of these levels. And I just feel good. So that is actually in the science of Ayurveda. There's real science behind everything that I just described.
Wow.
And then the next thing is that when you eat that food, all of that energy is transferred into kind of step one of the digestive process, which in Ayurveda we say takes 35 days. Mm-hmm. And during those 35 days, you're nourishing all the different parts of your body. And so this idea that there's 7 tissues that the nourishment goes through. And interestingly, the reproductive system, the nervous system is second to last. Mm-hmm. The reproductive system is last.
Right.
And your immunity is final. Mm-hmm. Now, if the quality at the beginning in step 1 is poor, then you have less every stage that it goes through in the nourishment process. And now we can start to understand why the nervous system's under such attack, why immunity is under such attack, and why fertility is such a problem these days.
That's fascinating.
So we want that to be really good quality so that everything gets fully nourished.
Yes. And of course, if we're stressed when we're eating, it's not helping the process at all, is it?
Of course. Yeah, that is key. Yeah, that rest and digest, or the fight and flight mechanism, is literally a switch. So if one's on, the other's off. Mm-hmm. And that's why partial digestion, inefficient digestion, it's such a problem if we're not able to calm down when we're eating. And so that cooking process is actually part of that. And one of a great tip I can share with your audience is that if they hydrate before preparing the meal or during the food preparation, and that can be a nice herbal tea. Like an herbal tea is the greatest thing to calm you down and sort of cut through the, the stress. And that will actually enhance your digestion as well as calming down your mind, because your digestive tract needs liquid. It needs to be juicy. You need the hydrochloric acids and the enzymes. And so hydrating, 20 to 30 minutes before you eat has been shown to enhance digestion as much as 24%. But even the bigger benefit is just the mindfulness that adds. It's like, I'm going to make a tea and I'm going to enjoy my tea, and then I'm going to prepare my food, and then I'm going to sit and enjoy my food.
Yes. And most of us, as you say, it's a chore, and it's, and also I know a lot of my clients are so fixated on what the right thing is to eat. And we work with trying to feel into what does your body want? What does your body need? And that comes with that mindfulness.
Yes, that is a trap in terms of what others say you should eat, because I think the thing that really matters, and what I always say is, how does it make you feel?
Yeah.
How does it make you feel? And when things are sitting well, when things are going to digest well, when things are good for you, then they make you feel good. It's very simple, right? Do more of what makes you feel good, and do less of what doesn't make you feel good. And the more you tune into that, the more it's again a signal and kind of a motivator. Sometimes we need to deal with those feelings of why we don't allow ourselves to feel good. That can be there too.
Yes.
It is really about, cultivating the awareness rather than relying on someone else. So it invites us to connect. It invites us to go within. And what better way to do that than through nutrition? Because, it's a daily, hourly, minute to minute, even sometimes situation when we're dealing with cravings, to cultivate that, practice, and that developing that awareness and mindfulness piece is, to me, that's what I've been doing for 25 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you different from just any normal nutritionist who's going to give you an eating plan and tell you this is what you should be eating. Yeah.
True. Yeah, but then Ayurveda also has its, body type.
Yes, that was a game changer for me personally.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, you get, so the way I describe that is you get in Ayurveda, you get a personalized starting point, and then that gives you knowledge or sort of principles to go by. And so then you put that into practice and you test the result by how did that make me feel? And then you refine and further personalize it. So that's the amazing thing about Ayurveda, is that it gives that starting point, but it's not dogmatic. It's just, if this is you, then this is more likely to feel good. But then you still need to try it. And so constantly you're the one that's being empowered in the relationship. Okay.
So I'm going to move on to something really important that I want to share with everyone, because as you've brought in here, it's not just about food, it's about mindfulness, it's about connection. It's a whole holistic picture. Our health depends on so many different aspects, right? And you've put together this amazing event. It's the Simple Health Solutions Summit. Easy Health Solutions Summit, my apologies.
No worries.
And this is very important. We all need easy health solutions. We often are feeling that it's all a bit overwhelming. We don't have time, right? And this is just such an amazing event that you have put together. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, so I was really inspired to learn that something like 80% of chronic disease can be reversed with the right diet and lifestyle habits. Right? Just mind-blowing, like how much suffering, and Ayurveda actually agrees with that. We actually say the biggest cause of disease is kind of grievance or sort of violence to oneself, or, doing things that aren't good for us. Yeah. So, and then this personalization thing. So I got inspired. I actually found that there's a discipline these days in the medical community called lifestyle medicine. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? So they've identified 5 areas for nutrition. So nutrition, physical movement, stress management, sleep habits, and relationships.
Yes.
So the summit is organized around these 5 key areas in lifestyle. And I have sought out the best of the best experts who are not only, well-versed experts in their various fields, but also very, very heartfelt and giving. And, I was really inspired by this idea of ancient versus modern medicine. Modern medicine gets so much into the weeds with the details, right? They discovered this organic molecule and you have to take this thing so that this molecule is working. So this next thing in the chemical reaction works, the detail. And then that can just like drive you crazy. So the easy health solutions is like, let's just get the habits in place, the basic habits in place. And I fully believe that when individuals can identify the right ones for them, right? Because there's so many solutions for nutrition. Like Ayurveda is just one of them. You have a solution. There's so many solutions for all of these. And your job, I believe, for someone who's active and proactive and empowering themselves over their health, which I believe is the audience, the people who come to the summit are very much those people. They're totally committed to their health, but they just haven't found the right solution, the right habit that really works for them. So the idea was to create this summit, short time slots, a few hours each day for 3 days. And I have a workbook that attendees get with a page for each of these areas. And I'm really encouraging the attendees to be taking notes. I really like that idea. That I think I can try. That I think I can fit into my life. And just think about these areas and find the solutions. And then, of course, each expert will have a free gift. And that will, if this person you're really aligning with this expert like yourself, they can download your free gift and continue the conversation, work with the strategies that you're offering and just keep going. And, habits are habits. You know what a habit is? It's something that we don't have to think about. So Yes, we have to put a little thought into finding the habit, but once you get it in place, it creates ease and flow. So that's what I want for everybody to discover their own, personalized health solution.
Wonderful. I was having a look at some of the speakers and it really looks so amazing. I will definitely be watching a couple of those.
Yes, we have expert in, like someone who works with like cancer patients, which I really value from a mind-body perspective, someone who's not afraid of cancer. So many topics like anti-nutrients and healing from the inside out, the doctor-patient relationship, like empowering you, because, we do need doctors and, overcoming trauma, getting your mind on board with your healing plan, saying goodbye to headaches. We even have a food demonstration from an Ayurvedic, the most simple and easy and healing Ayurvedic dish that takes about 5 minutes, to make.
Is that the khichdi?
Khichdi, yes.
So I actually mentioned to those who are going to be watching this replay or this live that I was going to share that link you shared with me because I had to listen to it and I actually make a very similar dish. I've been meaning to try your version. I love it. It feels so nourishing and so healthy. But I haven't yet used dal. I used red lentils.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So yes. Step by step, right? And then of course there's yourself. So I would love if you could share with us, give us a little preview into what it is that you're going to be sharing. I know your title is 3 Powerful Body and Mind Truths to Supercharge Your Health. So
yes. Well, thank you for the honor of asking me to be involved. So I love sharing on this topic. It's extremely close to my heart because of my own healing journey. And the awareness for me with my adrenal fatigue came when I started to work with body, mind, and spirit. So the first aspect that I'm wanting to focus on is why we need to change our relationship to our illness, to illness in general, why we need to reframe illness, because we often see it as a nuisance and as something really terrible and bad. And then we actually miss opportunities to use it in a very positive way. And the fact that actually we can make changes that we desperately need. So in a sense, it's looking at the benefits of illness. And then the second aspect is that all our symptoms are, it kind of follows on from the first, but for me, that gift is often in relation to aligning yourself more fully with your truth and with your soul, and your soul and your body are so deeply connected. Your soul expresses itself through your body. So your health, when your health is not in alignment, your soul's not in, you're not in alignment with your soul. And for me, I found that my health was out of alignment because I was so misaligned and disconnected from my truth. And in correcting my health, I corrected my own alignment with what it is that I'm here for. And I see that with all of my clients, and it's amazing. So I'm going to be sharing more about that. And then the one most important thing that is necessary in order to be able to then use this body-mind connection. And I'll be sharing a couple of practices because I don't think I can't talk about this without giving people a sense of what it feels like. So I'll be sharing some practices to support that relationship to the self, and to be able to listen to what is happening when there's illness and imbalance, and to be able to hear what it is you need to correct that, as opposed to always asking everyone out there, fix me, give me what I need. And yeah, so that's what I'll be focusing on.
Wow, Carrie, I'm actually really inspired when you're speaking. Because you're really speaking about a mindset shift in terms of how we relate to illness. And it is so critical that anyone, suffering makes this shift.
Yeah.
And so your message is so incredibly hopeful.
Well, that's what I like. That's why I want to share it. It was a game changer for me, and I feel very strongly that it must be shared, that other people must understand, not must. I would like other people to understand how much power they have, instead of feeling so disempowered and frustrated all the time.
Yeah. Can you give like a specific example of like kind of a shift or an experience in your life where maybe you went from feeling very maybe hopeless, alone, afraid, and maybe like a new mindset that you had that helped you through that?
Absolutely. The biggest one for me is with my chronic fatigue is that I felt that was broken and that it was never going to be normal again. And one day I had a realization that I had never felt truly safe in my life, and I'd never really felt good enough. So I'd spent my whole life putting all these coping mechanisms in place. And those were what had actually driven me to be overly stressed and ultimately to have physical imbalance and illness. And that was when I realized, oh, okay, so this is now coming up to give me an opportunity to change it. So I immediately went from resisting it to having a relationship with it. And knowing that if I use this consciously, I can actually heal myself, and not only heal myself, but I can have a much better quality of life and experience of life thereafter as well.
Yes, and provide the pathway to help others also.
Yeah, and that I hadn't realized that was going to be what came from it, but ultimately it was that sort of stepping into my truth, which was, oh, I want to share this with other people.
Yeah, you and everybody, who makes this shift, I think really needs to be celebrated, because you know, in a sense where, because I've done that too. It's like stepping beyond, it's like kind of leaving a whole set of things behind, you know, it's like, you can't get me anymore. You can't get me down anymore because I see you for what it is. And, you know, I embrace you, and I'm not letting you, this thing get me down. It's like, there's so much wrapped up in that, for an individual's, you know, personal and spiritual development.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So I just want to quickly put the link in here for people who want to go and check that out. And it's free to join. That's really important.
Yes. Yes.
And then there's options to upgrade from there, correct?
Yeah, so it's entirely free to attend. It's important that people listening to this understand that it is live. So they need to come live to see the speakers and get the gifts. And if they are going to be missing anything, though, we do offer a VIP ticket, an upgrade for the recordings. And with that, there's over $1,300, it's probably more than that, in additional free gifts in that bundle. So it's incredible. And actually, one of the things that we're doing is creating a page for each of the speakers and compiling a little ebook. And in there, there's 3 health tips. There's each of the speakers. So the health tips will remind you of what that speaker was talking about. So again, remember, I'm really thinking through and really wanting attendees to get value from this. This isn't just information that you're coming for, but this is, how can this information help me? And so with this book, you can come back, you know, weeks, months, years later, when you're ready, because maybe you hear something that you're not quite ready for. Come
absolutely.
back. And you're like, okay, that's it, right? Like, you hear it and you're like, okay, seeds planted. I'm going to be doing that, you know? And so you're able to come back and find that person, because there's so much information out there. So I don't want it to be just another information dump.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you've put so much thought and passion into this. I can hear that, and I'm really excited to be part of it.
Yes, well, yes, tremendous value, and it's clear in getting to know you a little better here today that you are an important part and a big part of that. Like, really excited about how everything is coming together, and all the gifts and all the passion that people are bringing. Yeah, not just me, but everybody. Like every speaker, every expert brings just so much, like, life experience and leadership, right? Stepping up to the plate and being that one to show the way and provide a helping hand to anyone that needs it. So, yep, I encourage everyone to sign up using the link, I guess, in the comments section below. It's totally free, and you'll get the reminders in your inbox, and we won't let you forget. We'll give you every opportunity to come and get all the benefits from attending this event.
Great. Okay, and I'm going to also just put here the link that you sent me for the kitchen, which I promised people that I'd add here. And then finally, like I mentioned, I would love you to come and do one of my Women Wisdom interviews in my membership group, because you've got so much more to share. I can see that, and I would love to ask you more questions, so we can do that hopefully in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to. I'd love to give people some actual strategies that they can start practicing. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, thank you. So thanks for chatting with us and for setting this up, the summit, and for sharing all the information. And yeah, it was lovely meeting you properly.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Carrie, for the opportunity to share with your community and to be introduced here. I really appreciate that and appreciate you.